Hello and welcome back to Anywhere But Here, episode 295. My name is Tom.
And my name's Ant.
You can find us at abhpod.com, where if you scroll down a bit, there is an Amazon banner. If you click through that Amazon banner and go and do your shopping on amazon.co.uk, as you usually do, I'm sure, for almost everything, it doesn't change your experience of the app at all. It doesn't add any more money to your total basket at the end, but we get 5% of whatever you do spend. So rather than going to Amazon and Jeff Bezos, it comes to us and we can use it to pay for our internet hosting for the year.
Yeah, and here's an idea for you. Bookmark that link once you've clicked on it, and then that's your Amazon link now. So you don't have to remember to click our banner all the time. If you don't want to do either of those things at all, but you still want to support us and do it on a more regular basis and get something for your money, you can support us on Patreon. There's a Patreon banner. It's $1 a month, £1 a month, whatever you set your currency at. I believe that's how it works now. And that's a monthly subscription. You can cancel out after a month if you really want. We don't mind, but it does help us. It's our preferred way of doing it. Like I say, we give something back for that as well. You get extra content. You get exclusive after the podcasts. You get spoiler casts the weeks that we actually record them, rather than waiting for them to come out on the free feed. And if we do any video content on YouTube, you get that early. Plus, our main episodes, we do record. As they're over Zoom, we record them. We do put them up on our Patreon, so you can watch us talk. And you, so all the audio content, you get a special little audio feed. You put that in your podcast feed, and all the audio content will get delivered to you in one feed, and you get the artwork with the gold thumb. Just so you know, it's your supporter feed.
The coveted gold thumb. And even if you pay the $1, you get access to all of the stuff that's in there as well, not just the most recent stuff. It's everything we've ever put in Patreon. So like, even if you do sign up for $1, you get everything in one go. Yeah,
there's lots there now.
You can get in touch with us as well on social media. We're at ABH Pod on Twitter, facebook.com/ABH Pod. And as Ant said, we're on YouTube as well, .com/ABH Podcast.
Yeah, you can email us as well. So any like cease and desist orders, send them to abhpod@gmail.com.
Oh dear. On this episode, we talk a bit about Eurovision.
Yeah, also talk about Godzilla versus Kong. Tom went to see that at the cinema.
Ooh, the cinema. And but first, myself and Ant, we got back together in real life yesterday.
Enjoy. Yeah, yesterday was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, yesterday was fun. Yeah, it's why your volume settings are way down.
yeah, because my voice is not as loud as a full band.
No, funnily enough. Yeah, we were in a practice room for the first time. Well, actually, ever. I don't think that band has ever been in a practice room before. It was always in my flat.
Yeah, I mean, the closest we got was up at NSP Studios, which technically is a recording room, but they use it as a practice room as well. Like you can use it as a practice or recording. It's got recording, the ability to record. So I think that's the only time.
But that was specifically for recording, wasn't it? Twice.
Yeah, that was specifically for recording. But yeah, this is the only time where we've gone into a room that we've actually paid to use and not recorded.
Yeah.
Like
although
we did record. Although we were recording, but not to sort of put out there in a sort of public, just for us to listen to ourselves. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, and like obviously we put the sort of teaser post sort of stuff up on Facebook page, and then like it's
kind of wish Corky had taken a little bit more time on some of those photos, mind you.
The thing is, I tried to edit it to add a picture of Corky because I've took one of him on my phone, but I can't add pictures to the post. Annoying.
Right.
But it doesn't matter, does it? It's just a bit of fun. Just a bit of a tease, and like some people knew, but others, like, did you see Phil's comment this morning? Like,
no, I didn't. No, I've not been on there. I've not been on there this morning.
Just, what? Because some people don't know, obviously, but yeah, it's good fun. It was great as well, and actually, it was like I know you and Corky have sort of played in session bands in the interim. Well, I mean, Corky's session band, covers band. Like functions, but you obviously go and gig as a covers band. Like I haven't really played in a band since we last played.
Yeah.
And I thought went really well, actually. Like,
yeah, I was really surprised that,
how,
especially the old stuff that like we haven't played together in years. I mean, we had a little bit of a session a few weeks ago,
acoustic session,
Yeah.
and that went quite well. Like,
yeah,
it just kind of, I mean, to be fair, we did kind of got a lot of experience of playing in a band together.
yeah. It's not like we didn't do quite a few gigs and, you know, practicing every week and what have you, but
Yeah.
it just shows you that muscle memory is a really powerful thing.
However, my left hand is swollen for some reason.
Oh,
The back of my left hand, and I don't know why. Like last night, it was absolutely killing me.
wow.
Like, it's really tender to the touch. And I
Oh,
don't
wow.
know what's happened. And compared to my right hand,
stretched
yeah,
a
it's swollen.
tendon or something.
I think so, yeah.
Mm.
Like, I mean, it was like 4 hours solid of playing. I think the most I've done.
Well, it was the most I think we've ever done, because usually, like, you guys used to smoke, so that was always like a thing where
regular
after
breaks.
about an hour or so, there would be the smoke break.
Yeah,
Inspiration sticks, as you used to call them.
That was for our writing sessions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of our practices, like, we would practice for sort of like an hour, and then we'd sit and try and write a new song or whatever. But yesterday it was pretty much like practice. Like, we'd practice for an hour, and I'd be like, let's just have a 5-10 minute break, just get our bearings.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen back to the recordings that we made yesterday and just see what we got. And from what I could hear, as it was stuttering because conflicting audio drivers, it was it was sounding really good, actually. Like, got the balance just about right.
Yeah, as I said, like, that room's not bad. You can stick a phone in the corner of a room and it comes out okay.
Yeah.
You know, not obviously something that you'd want to show people, but enough for a reference for, you know, practicing on your own or whatever.
Yeah. No, I'm really optimistic about it, and I'm sort of really keen to get in there again.
Yeah.
Play again, but
yeah. Well, it's nice that, like, you know, it's all three of us have got, because I've kind of entered into it a little bit. Like, I'm not going to have massive expectations of it or anything, because, you know, in the past we've all been a little bit flaky with things, but it seems like everyone's on the same page, and it surprises me sometimes that, like, Corky's like, yeah, we should do this. We can definitely, like, you know, get a gig by the end of the year. Yeah, and, like, you know, he's setting goals, and it's like, oh,
and
okay.
It's what I really liked about it as well was it's the realistic goals. It's not like we got in practice together, let's book a gig for next month. It's like, we got 2 gigs and they're both next year.
Yeah,
and then Corky's like, the first one we should do should be this. We can do that by the end of the year. Like, and it's like, yeah, we'll set something up and we'll play, and it'll just be like friends and whatever. We'll just invite people we know, and just to see how it goes before we actually start doing something proper. We'll put something on us, and it's really sensible idea.
Yeah.
It's the and the, like, a massive difference this time is, like, Corky's like, oh, listen to this song. You're like, oh yeah, I like that. I'd love to do that. And Corky's like, let's do it then.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of, and it's like regardless of whether anyone else wants to. Oh, it's a song you want to do, we'll do it. Like, because you want to do it. Rather than, it's just kind of like
much
like
more
like you were saying as well, there's like times when you play songs that you hate playing, but it works. So
yeah, of course. Yeah. And why wouldn't you if it's a good song? You know, it's like, I don't like AC/DC, but I play a bunch of AC/DC in the other band because that's what people like to hear.
Yeah, and to be fair, like, I know one of the songs we do, like Bad Moon Rising, one of the ones that we do, one of the ones that we did yesterday. No, it's a song I'm not familiar with, and it's literally the same 4 chords over and over again, or 3 chords. Yeah. And it's quite boring to play, but I know it's a song, like, there will be people that love it, and it's a good bouncy, fun song. So fuck it, we'll play it.
Exactly.
And I think it's something that I didn't really put a lot of thought into when we used to play. So I want to play stuff that's really interesting, but if I play stuff that's really interesting, it can be quite intricate for me. Yeah. And it means I have to concentrate on playing, so I'm not
you're not performing.
Not performing as such. Whereas like all the stuff we were playing yesterday, really simple, and you can bounce around and still play it. And it's good.
But it was nice to see you moving around as well.
Yeah.
Because like that wasn't.
I think I always did in practice though.
Yeah.
But as soon as we get in front of people, it's like, oh, okay.
Well, that'll be the test, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a thing that I enjoyed just playing bass in other bands. Is like I'm able to kind of really
fuck about,
put some put some energy into it. Whereas obviously when you're singing and playing at the same time, you're kind of rooted to the spot because you have to be in front of a microphone. Yeah,
and I think being a singer, you probably have to put most of the performance comes from your facial expressions with what you're singing.
Yeah, I've learned that like actually the best thing to do is not to bounce around too much while you're singing because it detracts from both the playing and the singing. So it's
just put the extra effort in when you have to step away from the mic, when you can step away from the mic.
Exactly,
put the extra effort in there.
In the kind of the kind of middle eights or whatever.
But I did. I really, really enjoyed yesterday. And I know like Joe, you asked us the other day, is it right if Joe comes along and takes some pictures and does some video? And I was like, I don't think there'll be much. Oh no, you said I don't think there'll be much. No, I did, didn't I?
Yeah, and then Joe was like, "Oh, actually, it's your first time back, so she didn't want to."
I appreciate that. Actually, I didn't even think that. Well, I just thought there's probably not going to be much interest into film. Let's be honest, because it's our first time back. Actually, probably would have been quite nice to have some sort of evidence of that first session back.
And when I got home and she saw the photos on Facebook, she was like, "I'm coming next time. You guys can't take photos for shit."
Which is fair enough. Yeah, definitely fair enough.
But again, like it was nice to be in there, just the three of us, no kind of pressure. And nice that it was on an acoustic drum kit as well. Like as much as electrics are decent, there's nothing quite like getting that sound, because we wouldn't have played at the level, I don't think.
No, that's true. Yesterday. I think because we would have. I mean, I got in, turned the amp and went, "Oh, fuck me, that's loud." Turned it down. Corky started playing. I went, "Oh, I need to turn that back up."
You forget how loud a drum kit is.
If
sometimes.
It was an acoustic drum kit going through that PA, although it is a nice loud PA. I mean, your voice on the record, it comes out crisp, like it's really clear. Yeah. But as loud as that can go, the electric drum kit, we probably wouldn't have turned up that much.
No.
And we wouldn't have got the same sort of sound. But and you don't get that thing like when you sort of play a chord and you hear the snare just starting to rattle, which that's a great sound. Activating the drum kit. Just by playing a chord or a note.
It was. I'm really, really glad that High Frequency is back.
Yes,
I mean we've been kind of playing with the idea of it now for fucking ages, haven't we? Really.
I mean, since the first lockdown, I think we discussed it, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we were gonna.
But even before that, I think a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Like,
we've spoken about it. I don't think we've ever approached Corky about it. And then the first time we did, he's like, "Fuck yeah!" And we're like, "Cool."
All right.
And then that was first lockdown, I think, wasn't it? And then we were planning to practice just before. Just at the end of the last lockdown, or
October, November, wasn't it?
When we went back into lockdown again.
So it's been a long while in the making.
But I think we can officially say it now. It's slightly different, in a slightly different form, I suppose, aren't we?
It's going to be, not as much.
We're not trying to make it with our originals.
No. But we'll play the originals if people want to hear them. I think that's the main thing.
And
but also.
I don't think we'll ever get away from the fact we'll probably try and write some new ones as well.
I would like to.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
Just to see what we can do.
Yeah, I've got a little bit more experience of playing in originals bands now as well, so it might not be all on Corky to write the songs.
Yeah, that's true.
Although, to be fair, we did have a pretty collaborative by the end of it.
Oh, for sure.
Last time around, it was pretty collaborative, and we were in a space where all of us were kind of contributing things.
Yeah.
So I would like to get into... It would be nice to have that dual purpose where we can go out and do like a 20-minute set somewhere of just originals to people who want to hear original music.
Yeah.
And then have the covers and stuff.
Basically, we need the covers band to fund the originals.
Like One Day Elliot and Brothers from Another Cover.
Yeah. Yeah, except we will be high frequency in both forms.
Low level hum or something.
Mate.
Do you remember Low Level Hum?
Yeah. What's your covers band called? Texas Toy Raven.
I was trying to think of some of the original names.
10 Whole Adfrages.
10 Whole Adfrages. That's the one. I was like,
no, it was
the one with the made up word in it.
Who came up with Adfrages? Was that me?
I don't know.
It was remember. So to put a bit of context to all of this, there was 3 or 4 of us.
Yeah, it was you, me, Corky, and Matt.
Yeah, why did we only have 3 words though?
I think it had happened before I joined.
Oh, I think it had actually. Yeah. So we used to. So yeah,
because you were already high frequency.
That's true. Yeah, me, Matt, and Corky were practicing in Matt's basement.
Yeah,
and we needed to come up with names for the band.
Mm.
So Matt was like, "I've got an idea." He brought out a bag of Scrabble letters and was just like, pick out a handful of letters and make up some words. Like, make up some words. I think that's where Adfrages came from.
Right.
Because it was make up some words. So, like, people are like, oh, I'm going to make words out of the letters I've got. Whereas I think I'm going to make up a word.
Out of these 8 tiles or whatever.
Yeah. So that's what happened. So, yeah, we came up with Texas Toy Raven, which, to be fair, fucking wicked. Like, that's like a country band, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But 10 Whole Adfrages was weird. But yeah, High Frequency was a good one. And then I think when we split up once? And I think it was
once.
One of the times we had issues. And I think it was that time when Finn was in the band.
Mm.
And then we're like, oh, fuck it. We'll just make a new band. We'll call it Low Level Hum. Just High Frequency, Low Level Hum. Yeah, it was just one of those weird sort of moments. Yeah, that was one of those weird, like when we were younger and it sort of got a bit bitter.
Yeah.
I think it was Corky and Finn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Got really bitter between them.
Yeah, very much so. Kids, eh? Kids. Yeah. But no, it's good. It felt really nice to be and it's felt really nice. Like this whole last week, I've now practiced within 1 week. I've practiced with 3 bands.
Nice, yeah.
And it's just been it's been really fucking freeing and really nice to kind of, get back to it. And there's a different energy with each group, and there's a different style, and it's just High Frequency. I've made no bones about it to anyone.
Yeah,
like High Frequency plays the type of music that I love, and is my baby. It's my first band,
Yes, yeah.
So yeah,
it's and like, not to blow smoke up our asses, but our songs are really fun to play.
They're fun to play and they're catchy. Like we were like the guy who I'm allowed to say it. Fuck it. Yeah. People tell me, it's not just me. Like when I've been practicing the songs in the house, like Joe has been like, I've had Leaving Home or something in my head. Yeah. And that one, yesterday was brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
I'm bigging us up massively. But
it's always been one of my favourite ones of ours to play. Yeah. And not just because I wrote the music. But it's always been the one for me that I think if any of our songs were going to take off, I think that would be the one. That, and I mean, the thing is,
Amy was the other one, wasn't it? Like the slow ballady one.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was like it was a left field turn for this band.
Yeah,
but it was definitely the most commercial sounding song that we ever wrote,
for sure. I forgot about that one. But it's like Leaving Home is the one that it's just fun to play. But then that's one that there was a guy in another band that we played with. He's like, if you're doing Leaving Home tonight, can I do guest vocals on it? Can I come up and sing it with you? So go for it, mate. Like that. But I like Prayer for the Punks and Cool Kids are like completely frantic. And like to be fair, like we started as pure pop punk.
Yeah.
But then Prayer for the Punks was that one that kind of took it.
Well, I think what it was like we started playing with much more because we got that gig through Snide dropping out in London where we were playing with kind of oi bands and stuff like that, wasn't it? Ois to Men in Code Blue and all that lot.
They were playing and they were like proper fucking hardcore punk. I mean, like,
Emergency
oh god,
Bitter,
we're in the wrong place.
Then there was that young northern punk kid who looked like Sid Vicious, who came and sat next to us, sat outside the pub, and kind of we were like, fucking hell, we don't fit in here at all.
Yeah. We're there with our fucking DCs and our
skate punk kids,
spiky hair. Well, I think Corky was on that spiky hair at the time.
And then it forced me to sing in a more gruff tone, and I think it really kicked us up the arse to start
got a Frozen
writing poppy songs.
Got a Frozen moment there.
Right,
we're back though, I think.
It forced us to write slightly heavier, less poppy songs, and those were the ones, but they've still got that sensibility to them, I think.
But to be fair, that gig, like I can't remember if it was guys from Oyster Men or Code Blue came and spoke to us afterwards, and we were like, we kind of like pop, and he's like, no, it was brilliant, like I loved it. Like I was like, oh, cool.
Because admittedly either Oyster Men or Emergency Bitter did a No Doubt song during one of their sets, so it's like, we shouldn't have been quite so intimidated, but it definitely turned a page, didn't it? And like the Welcome to Apathyville album was a much different
sure.
Whereas the Take Shortcuts Wherever Possible album was just us playing in a room, and I was much more clean vocal.
The
next one was much more kind of thrashier,
and a lot of that I think a lot of that was to do with Graham as well, because he sort of got that out of you. Like there was one point where he really really wanted you to. Was it the end of Cool Kids? So they're a bunch of fucking pricks.
It's that, or it was.
I think that's where he wanted to get you angry.
Yeah.
And he just said, "No, can you do it again?" And then you did it and go, "No, do it again. No, do it again." Like he really pissed you off until you got really angry and screamed it.
It's just that thing, because you're isolated in the vocal booth.
You can't see all of us laughing.
Exactly. Yeah, I had no idea what was going on. I'm just like, for fuck's sake, I've done it 5 times. I've done it 7 times. I've done it 8 times. I've done it.
It was like perfect.
Yeah,
that was good. But then he got you in Cool Kids as well. As My Life's Not What I Wanted It to Be. He was like, "Can you sing it like the Sex Pistols?"
Do the John Lydon line.
Yeah.
Which is kind of stuck.
Yeah.
I haven't in various. It depends on how I feel at the time as to whether I go with that.
You were fucking about with it yesterday for a bit.
Yeah, I was fucking about with a lot yesterday. Yeah. Mainly because I think we've had a conversation in the past. Like a lot of those lyrics were written when we were in our late teens, early 20s. Yeah. And they don't reflect the times now, and they don't reflect the way that we feel and the way that we would express ourselves, probably.
Yeah. Which song was it where you slipped in a TikTok line?
Oh,
that was Cool Kids.
It was Cool Kids,
all Cool Kids, yeah.
Because obviously, like, it's gone from, like, the whole point of that song is that you feel out of touch, and you get in with the wrong crowd, and what they're doing is drinking and messing about in parks and stuff, which is what we were doing. And that's not really what kids do these days. Not that like we should really be pandering to that, but it was just interesting to play around with the lyrics and put in kind of more modern references. Because I think I'd heard Bowling for Soup. They were doing an interview a couple of years ago at a festival, and they'd been challenged to update Girl All the Bad Guys want with modern references, because obviously Two Ways are pages, and even at the time that felt like a dated reference.
I mean, to be fair, pages were only around for about 6 months.
So like, they were updating all the reference points, including bands and stuff that they're taking the piss out of.
To be fair though, like the line in Girl All Bad Guys want about two-way, so he wears a two-way, but I'm not quite sure what that means. Because it's still. But I don't know if that's because it was like a rich kids thing back then, or is it because it was like already on its way out?
I'm not really sure. But I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done to kind of, because I was thinking on my feet and really putting myself off yesterday. So I think I've got to write out all the words and really look at them and kind of think like, no, I'm going to change that one. I'm going to change,
Yeah, because I think as well, where we were younger, and it was like we were just trying to find words that fit in. Whereas now it's, I mean, because like lines in Cool Kids, it's like something about wanting to play with the cool kids, and it's like, well, even
back then, it was like,
even back then, it's like, well, you didn't play with your friends, like. And it's like, oh, just like hang or hang out, like that's better. We'll just do that instead. Like it's, I
think the problem with some of those songs were as well. Oh no, that's incorrect. I was going to say is that we wrote them and then recorded them, but actually no, we gigged those songs to death, hadn't we?
And then recorded them when we were sick of them.
Yeah. But
I think that's good because we sort of workshop those songs all the time. We were gigging them and going, oh, that works better. And then when it came to recording them, actually, they were probably better than if we'd recorded them when we first wrote them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But I was going to say, there's another line that's always sort of sat awkwardly with me is in Leaving Home. It's like, no one can herd me around again.
Yeah, I know.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But push.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like,
simple word change
for years like that, and it's like, well, that's not exactly the way that it should be.
Yeah, it doesn't quite make sense. I understand it, but it's just little things like that. And it's, I think back when we were first sort of playing and stuff like that, there's no way we'd speak up and say, I don't like that lyric.
No because it was quite dictatorial as well, wasn't it? Like Corky was quite precious about like the words, and like as much as he would allow us to kind of, it was a collaborative thing, but I think there's that young person's pride, isn't there? We were all aware of the fact that we were all quite sensitive.
And I think it is a case of like, I wrote this and this is how I wrote it, so this is how we're going to play it.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
Whereas now it's kind of like, this is how I wrote it, but I'm aware I make mistakes. What can you come up with?
Yeah, I'm aware that you might have a better take. Or maybe would be able to make more sense. It's like a DJ fix. Mix. Can't get my hand from DJ mix. Literally changing one letter of a word to make it make sense.
Don't get my highest from a DJ mix. Or even better, I can't get a fix from a DJ mix. Like, if you want to use fix.
And this is the thing, like, I like the fact that we're playing around with it a little bit now.
Yeah.
And it was interesting as well, like after a couple of run-throughs, it was interesting to also play around with the vocal melodies as well.
Yes.
In like one or two of the songs, I was kind of messing around.
Yeah.
With like using different melodies, which is something that I could never have done before because it was,
it's being a lot more comfortable with your instrument, like your voice is an instrument, like knowing where you can say and understanding how things work and harmonies and like not necessarily understanding why, but just you can hear it. Oh, I know if I do this instead. That's good. Like it's great.
We're going back to the kind of catchy thing because Graham, who recorded our albums, was letting us into the studio yesterday.
That was weird. That was so weird.
So it's this weird little circle, and then he posted a thing a couple of years ago from him in a band when he before the beard. There's a lot of nostalgia going on at the moment, and it's just all kind of bubbling around. And but he was saying that his other half will still occasionally shout Sugar Rush at him.
Which is the line from one of our songs.
Well, it's the theme to band biographies.
That's a good point. Yes it is, isn't it? Yeah if you haven't heard like Sugar Rush, it's the song that Tom sticks at the beginning and at the end of band biographies. It's Sugar Rush, just because it's like the most instrumental song we did, other than Converse All Stars Might Look Good But They Don't Half Make a Mess of the Bottom of Your Jeans. That was one of our other instrumentals. And Jimmy B.
James Bond.
That was caught me off guard, but it was good. I'm sure you used to do it as well, didn't you?
I think so. Well off mic though.
It's
actually on the You can just about hear it on the Take Shortcuts recording.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of them is just 1, 2, and then the other one I think is James Bond.
Okay.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, it was such a weird moment, like the three of us going up there, and it was Graham that was sort of there letting us in. I was like, wow. Like, I mean, it's always been that way. I mean, it's kind of what Apathyville was about, isn't it? Like, you've got that close knit community, and I want to go and play in this town, but they've got their own community that I can't be part of, sort of, or I need to get out of here because it's all
very incestuous.
Yeah,
and there's nowhere to play.
Yeah,
yeah.
There are, as long as you're a covers band.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, so other than our band practice, like it was quite a musical day yesterday. I don't know if you watched any of the Eurovision.
Well, I was on a Zoom call with a few people last night, and then I realised that it was on, and I do enjoy watching Eurovision. It wasn't really the reason that I left. I was just quite knackered actually after yesterday.
Oh yeah,
if I'm honest.
Yesterday was tiring.
But switched on the TV after signing off, and the results were being, or like, you know, the recap bit before the results was being shown, and we were like, oh, this is perfect way to watch Eurovision. Like, just see the clips from the
It's even better now because I didn't realize they changed the way they do the scoring now.
Yeah, I know.
So it's not like, oh, we give 2 points to this person, we give 3 points. It's like literally, these are the scores we gave, and our 12 points goes to like, and it's like brilliant. Like,
yeah, it makes it so much quicker because that bit used to go on for hours and hours.
Are the people giving the results, like, they're trying to be funny.
And what the fuck was Amanda Holden doing? Like, bad enough that the UK got 0 overall.
What, like, can you explain? We've had it before, but it's but sometimes we do get some points, and to be fair, like the UK entry was like a really bad Rag and Bone Man clone, and the song wasn't very good. But the other thing as well is like Brexit. Why would anyone give us any points?
Exactly. Yeah.
We've essentially said as a country we don't want to be part of Europe, but hey, give us points in a Eurovision Song Contest, which is because Eurovision, you've got countries in there that aren't in Europe, and because it's a Commonwealth thing as well, isn't it? It's not just Europe now. Like,
but it's not even that. I think it's that the viewing figures were so good in Australia that they became part of it about 3 years ago.
Oh, really? I thought they've been in it for a little while. I think it's probably been longer than that. It just feels like it was only 3 years ago.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a couple of years, to be fair, so maybe it's been more than 5 years, but I think it's because they love it over there. Like, it's something that they watch, you know, and they've got a big kind of interest in, but
what I don't understand is how have the rest of Europe not realized that rock songs do well at Eurovision?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, that Italian one, like, they were basically the Darkness.
And the way they look, it was a great song.
Yeah, like, good song. And also,
Finland's
what was it? Finland? Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah. They didn't do very well because they probably don't have any political allies. But
no,
it was just weird. Like the funny part about it was like when Amanda Holden was giving out her results, I was looking at it. I was like, oh, we haven't given France any. I think France are going to get our 12. It would make sense because we need France. And it's like, and 12 points goes to France. We need France because they're our gateway into Europe.
To make up for us sending the Navy over to...
and the fishing thing,
yeah.
That we completely bollocksed.
Yeah. But the other one that stood out last night was when Cyprus were doing their votes, and it was like, and our 12 points go to, and the whole audience was like, Greece.
Yeah.
And they were like, Greece.
It was so funny. And Graham Norton does a great job of commentating on the judging panel, like the people giving the result. Like Terry Wogan always did, and even like when they were performing, like Terry Wogan did a great job of just like rinsing the shit out of everyone. But even Graham Norton did he's like, you see someone, I can't remember which country it was. There was this woman in like a nice silver dress with her hair done and bright red lipstick, and he was like, "Oh, she's going out after this."
Yeah. Or the woman who was dressed all in the zebra outfit. He's like, "Do you think her outfit's got a head to it that she's not wearing?"
Oh, it is so brilliant. And there was a guy who's just like in a like jeans and a t-shirt, and he was like, "Oh, well, he's made an effort." I was just sitting there laughing out loud to myself. Like Liz was snoring. Like I was just sitting there laughing out loud to myself. It's just, Eurovision is brilliant. Like
it's not
I
to be
forgot
taken seriously.
No, I forgot how much I really do enjoy it, and it actually almost made me want to watch the Will Ferrell film. Which I really don't want to watch.
we stuck it on last year because Eurovision wasn't on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, there's this film. It's Will Ferrell, but it's about Eurovision. So let's give it a go.
Yeah, let's look at an American's take on the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah. And I think probably we got maybe 2 minutes into the film and Joe was like, turn it off.
Yeah. I feel like that's what I'm going to do because I do enjoy Eurovision for the campness, but I don't think I'm not that into it that I would enjoy the film.
Yeah.
But by all accounts, the song from it is brilliant.
Apparently so, yeah. I think I've heard it, and it does sound like it sounds more like a kind of 70s Eurovision song. Ya Ya Ding Dong.
Yeah.
And they even like the Icelandic person giving out the points was a character from that film.
Yes.
Wasn't he, or something like?
And he goes, 12 points, goes, the Ya Ya Ding Dong, play it. Which, it was funny. If you're in on the joke.
If you get that, yeah. Which I'm sure most people watching Eurovision probably are in on.
Yeah.
There were a couple of the performers even had like placards saying Ya Ya Ding Dong.
Yeah, I think it was part of the whole thing as well. Like some of the adverts they were showing for Ya Ya Ding Dong as well, yeah. It was, weird. Interesting.
And they did that kind of rooftop medley as well from past winners and stuff, and they got Lordi back.
Mate, that was brilliant.
Because I remember them being in Kerrang and being like a genuine, like they were at Download and stuff like that.
Yeah. They're a legitimate metal band.
Yeah.
That just did a Eurovision song.
Yeah. And it shows you that, like, even though they dress up as demons and stuff, they've got a sense of humor about themselves.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, like the Italian, Italy won, and like those guys, like they were going around there, were looking at Malta with that young like girl who's like with her, oh yeah, we're having a great time, and Sweden, oh this is crazy, and it's like Italy like with their drink, in their beers, and
whenever it came back to the little pods that they were sat in as well, like it was them, and the Finnish metal band as well were really on it.
Yeah,
like every time they were like on camera, they were necking beers and champagne and stuff. Like they were having a great time.
Proper rock bands there. Yeah.
The only bit was one time they came back to the Italian lot and they were all on their phones, weren't they?
Yeah.
At one point,
just chatting. Yeah. No, it's good fun. I at some point I want to have like a proper, like almost like a Eurovision party, like get a group of people together and just one of our friends like massively into her music. She was a music teacher, Sam Mason, one of our mates. She had a Eurovision party, and I think they were doing shots anytime a country sung in its native language.
Right.
Because generally what happens at Eurovision is the songs are in English. But more and more people are singing in their own language now.
Yeah. And why shouldn't they?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But I just love the campness of it. It's just so funny.
Yeah. I don't give a shit that it's a bit rough around the edges. The fact that it is camp and a bit crap is part of it's most of the enjoyment, actually. You know?
I think if it wasn't for like Terry Wogan and Graham Norton like doing the commentary over the top of it, I probably wouldn't bother with it.
Oh yeah,
like if it was just straight, because the host country, their broadcast, like with their like they are taking it seriously, and I'm pretty sure if it was hosted in England, we would have our English like hosting team would be taking it seriously, but Graham Norton would be still taking a piss out of them over the top.
Yeah, because you can't, like, it's not to be taken seriously, is it? Like,
no.
It hasn't been a serious musical contest since probably the 80s. Like, something seemed to happen in the 90s where it went really camp and really kitsch.
Yeah,
like, because pre that it was like ABBA, Katrina and the Waves, Lonnie Donegan, even. I mean, these were proper artists.
Yeah, proper artists, yeah. And I mean, did you see they did like parts? Yeah, they did like VTs, like looking at when it started, like looking through, because it was an anniversary edition. I think it was like 50 years or something.
Yeah.
So they were looking at older ones, and like it used to be like hosted and people would turn up in like evening dresses and tuxedos and shit like that, and then it's going through like all these nice sensible people in their dress, and then all of a sudden someone's got big orange glasses on with a flag painted on their face and a giant wig, like it's like, and then this happened,
and then it became a bit kitsch,
but no, it's good fun. It really is good fun, and there are some genuinely good artists. Even some of the pop songs were really good last night. Yeah. But then you had Germany.
That was that. I mean, like I say, I didn't watch any of the whole. I only saw the kind of recaps of the performances.
So you saw the Germany with the person dressed up as a hand. Yeah. Like in a peace sign. But the funny thing is with that, I don't know if it was intentional, it was a peace sign. But this finger, the kind index of finger was her hand. So when she started dancing and pulled her pointer finger down, she just had a middle finger up. She'd start dancing, pull her hand, and then turn her back on the audience, and it's a giant middle finger.
You've got to think that that's on purpose. Surely.
No. Because the song is about no more hate and stuff like that. The song was about no more hate, and then she's sticking her middle finger up at people. And then I pointed out, like, I said, it's kind of got to be a peace sign, because you couldn't have a German like dressed up as like an open-handed palm. It would be a very different song if it was about high fives, wouldn't it?
Heil 5.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh dear. But
Fred.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, do enjoy it, but it's there's a lot of things coming back, isn't there? After last year. Have you noticed that there's been adverts on the TV recently about the Euros, the football Euros?
Yeah.
They're still calling it the 2020 European Championships, and it's like, well, what? Why? I know that it's probably you spent a lot of money on the branding.
There was one point in Eurovision last night as well where they said, who will be champions of Eurovision 2020, and I'm like, what? But then they did change it at the end, like they said 2021, and it was just like, that was weird.
It was probably just a slip of the
especially
tongue.
for an like Euros makes sense, the European championships, the football, because it's every 4 years. So it's like you got 2020 and then it'd be 2024 and that kind of makes sense. But and the Olympics, I don't know if they're still calling it the 2020 Olympics.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Apparently the Japanese people aren't that keen on the Olympics going ahead.
Like 80% of like the Japanese population have said it shouldn't. They're happy for it not to go ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like with Eurovision though, I thought it was really weird then, like for an annual thing to like say still call it 2020. And it's like, what, you're going to host it again this year? Call it 2021? What? Or are you just now going to be a year behind? But then they did change it. But it was just a bit weird. I thought it was, but like it makes sense for the Euros and the Olympics if they keep last year's, because it is the Olympics that should have been held in that year.
Yeah. It's just odd to see things that are like, because obviously like for a lot of us last year didn't feel like it really took place because we didn't do anything, right? And it feels like anything that took place in 2020 feels like it was 2019, or because it was basically a write-off year. But yeah, to then call things that are happening this year the 2020 version just to keep it in line, it's a bit strange. But you know, it is what it is, I guess. But I was going to say something else there, but I can't remember what it was. I've just run into a rabbit hole. Yeah,
in a rabbit warren. Which one did I come?
Which way do I go?
Yeah,
I went to the cinema this week.
Ah, yes, I saw your very brief review on Facebook.
Yeah, Godzilla versus King Kong.
That trailer that we both got really excited over a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And
I just everything with Godzilla and King Kong fighting, and then the final battle itself, which I'm not going to give too much away about.
Oh, I've seen bits of it. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen it online. That CGI artist React, they kind of had it, so I was like, "Oh, that's really cool."
Yeah,
kind of wish it was a surprise when I was watching the film. Though.
No, I know. I heard some people talk. I think it was on Tell 'em Steve Dave or something. They basically were like, "Oh yeah," and then this turns up, and I'm like, "Oh." Now I know that it's not like, because I knew that. Obviously, you've got Godzilla versus King Kong, and you're like, well,
because we did wonder.
Because we
had the discussion, but they're both defenders.
Yeah, so why would they be fighting each other?
It's like Batman v Superman. What's going to bring them
exactly.
together?
That was the that was the thing, wasn't it? It's like in all these superhero films, the superheroes meet each other, don't like each other, fight for a bit, then have something else to kind of team up against.
Yeah,
and sure enough, but like it's all the human stuff I fucking can't stand. Like none of them have got believable motivations or storylines or characteristics. Like,
and it seems really bizarre in a film where you've got these two absolutely humongous characters that the film is named after. You're not going to have a human story that's worth telling that will overshadow what the film is actually about. Like it's always going to be insignificant in comparison, and yet for some reason they always want to make try and make it about them, that there's some big thing. And it's like, no, that you're not what the film's about. I don't care about you. I want to watch more of this.
Yeah, I'm sure you can make.
I know, like I was going to say, I know, like in the old Matthew Broderick Godzilla, it's like Godzilla was the monster and the human. Like that's why it was called Godzilla. The film wasn't about him; it was about the people that were trying to survive an attack from him. Yeah, essentially. And I think the first Godzilla film with of this franchise, with Scarlet Witch in it. What I can't remember. Was it her that's in it? Was it Elizabeth?
The first one has got.
Was it Elizabeth Olsen?
No, the first was she in it? I know Breaking Bad man. Was in it, wasn't he?
Why do I feel like I want to say it was Elizabeth Olsen that was in Godzilla? But I know that one was about him turning up and how are they going to deal with him again.
But it was also there was a threat looming as well.
Elizabeth Olsen,
Right. Okay. But there was also a threat looming as well, and like
the nuclear reactor,
because it was also like something was feeding off a nuclear reactor, and it was another kaiju type thing, and that's why he was rampaging towards it. And that's always the story with Godzilla, and it continues to be. There's this whole thing of like, oh, Godzilla's angry and attacking people, and we don't know why. And it's like, well, because people are idiots and they're trying to replicate something. I didn't know whether you wanted to get into exact spoilers, but it's basically like one of the first people that you hear from is a podcaster, and they work within the corporation that's kind of making use of weapons and things. It's creating technology based on Godzilla and the monsters and what have you. And he's like, I'm going to expose this thing and blah, blah, blah. And he manages, like, he somehow, even though he's not hiding his own voice on his podcast, he still works for the company and hasn't been found out, even though he's quite blatantly being like, this is all the stuff I've found out while I've been embedded in this company.
Oh, right.
And manages to walk away with some pen drive with amazing information on it, and
it's all a bit shit.
It's not even just that though. Like the main kind of bad guy, his motivation is. It seems completely out there. And I know that I shouldn't be taking this film seriously anyway, but when the humans don't, like the other two Godzilla films, at least the humans, they were basically just reacting to it. There was no like mustache twirling villain who was like, I'm going to use something about this for nefarious purposes,
Yeah, they were not involved in like the original ones. They're not involved in the story. They're not part of the reason for the event, so to speak. Like in Pacific Rim, obviously you've got like it in there. You've already got the kaiju coming through, and you've got the big fucking.
The Jaegers,
the Jaegers and things like that. But then you've got like one of the scientists is trying to fuse with so he's the like you say, he's the villain who is using stuff like this to take over the world or whatever. Whereas in Godzilla, it's never been that. Yeah. But for some reason now it's like, we're going to use it.
Yeah, like Pacific Rim is more of a kind of comic book style movie anyway.
Yes.
And also, like you say, it's been set up that these things have been coming through the breach
they exist,
for years, and humanity has kind of harnessed these. They've pulled together all the resources in the world to build these giant fighting robots. Yeah. And like you're like, okay, that's the world this is set in. It's not a real world.
Yeah.
It's a fantasy, but like. The Godzilla mythos is kind of like the first film was very much like this thing has come out of nowhere and how the fuck are we supposed to, prepare ourselves for it? And it was very much everyone must run away except the military whose job it is
to try and stop him.
Yeah. And it was kind of like that in the second one. Except that the second one had way more monsters, but again, it wasn't like no one. I think there was a bit in that was like, why are we looking at people here at all? Because surely
it's not about the people.
Yeah. And then this one seemed to have far more people. Although I've heard from other people that I know. Greg from the All Seeing Guys, I think was like, actually, I don't think this one had as many people in it. But I don't know, like it just, maybe it was that everyone else has watched it on a small screen and I watched it in a cinema where it is that much bigger and that much harder to be like.
I think it's probably from what you're saying, it's because I haven't seen King of the Monsters. So from what you're saying, it's like, King of the Monsters probably had more people in it, but this one, it probably felt like, not necessarily there were more people, but because they had a direct line into the story, they had more influence over the story. It probably felt like they were, rather than there's more people, it's like they're more important to what's going on. So they have a bigger part to play in the film.
Definitely.
Like probably just felt like more people, even though not necessarily.
Yeah, because basically what it is, like, after Kong Skull Island, I suppose, like people have enclosed Kong on Skull Island, and like there's a little deaf girl who has a bond with Kong because she's one of the original islanders, and for some reason he feels like he needs to protect this little girl, and then the people they get Kong out of the enclosure because they figure that they need Kong to stop Godzilla. And so King Kong is actually kind of acting on behalf of the people.
Yeah.
and it's all to do with this little deaf girl teaching Kong sign language, and then there's like a whole thing with, and again, I don't know whether I should even say it, but it gets ridiculous, really, really, really ridiculous, and I can't. It's like when the first film was seems to be based in the real world. What has happened 3 films on in the franchise is
bizarre.
Yeah,
it's a leap.
Think 10,000 years BC, or what was that other really old film where they journey to the center of the earth?
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw a whole. I saw a conversation with you and Greg. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I get what you're saying now. Yeah. It's a bit of a and it is weird where, and I think it's probably one of those points where the film's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. I don't know if I can take that leap.
Yeah.
Sort of, and that spoils everything.
Yeah.
Where they do stuff that's so ridiculous that it's just like, I can't even enjoy the really good parts of this film because what's just happened has tainted it so much.
Yeah. I'm not like, if you can go with that twist, then you'll probably have a better time with the film. But if you can't get your head around the fact that, like, hold on. Yeah. Like, this wasn't like, this didn't start out as a fantasy franchise. Yeah. And now we're in complete, like, flat earth world. Yeah. Like, that's how it feels. I equate that particular thing with flat earth. Like, they're the same kind of fantasy fiction bullshit.
Yeah, we're not looking at flat earth here. It's the other one.
No, it's the other one. And they seem to kind of almost make it out like it's another dimension. But it's not, because they have maps of it.
Well, established. At what point was this established? Okay, right, cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
But it's a shame because, like, from like watching that visual artist, VFX artist react thing, like, visually, like, this film looks absolutely incredible.
The final fight in the daylight was really great. And the bit in the middle of the ocean with Godzilla attacking the boat was just stunning to look at, you know. But the nighttime fight in Hong Kong, where all the buildings were lit up like, you know, like all in neon. And I'm sure maybe Hong Kong does look like that, but it really just looked like a video game.
But I think that's probably like, that particular fight's probably an homage to all of the older sort of not even older Godzilla films, but you know, like the old like the Gundam stuff, and you know what I mean, like where it's, or the Power Rangers, where it's these big giant things. Although there's no, but
we already had that in Pacific
Voltron type
That's
thing.
The thing. Yeah. We already had those fights. We've had the kind of neon, you know, giant machines battling giant monsters fights. Like, and I know it's not the same franchise, and they're trying to do it their own way, but I don't know.
But I think it's probably that where you have to have Godzilla at some point fighting in a city full of skyscrapers. You just have to.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think
Godzilla's a bit in like the Japanese, it's got to be like Tokyo with neon and stuff like that. So you know.
But the daytime stuff looked really good when it was the 3-way fight. Yeah,
and you know that. I mean, in the trailer, a lot of that trailer is made up of the fight in the ocean with like King Kong on the ship.
Yeah. You don't see much of the city fights in the trailers, but that ocean fight was something else.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm excited to see. Is like, I don't give a shit about the story.
Yeah.
Like I just want to see big monsters fighting.
Yeah, exactly. I think you can make a supercut of just like if you get it on DVD or whatever, you just watch
just
those bits, just cut out all the other crap. But
fight edition.
Yeah.
But definitely still want to watch it at some point. Just Chloe's just come back.
I really wanted to go and see Mortal Kombat as well, but they're on quite late at night.
Oh, really?
Which isn't, a problem. But I was planning on doing a full day of it because I think the week before there was a golden period of like Godzilla Kong, and then I could get out and have half an hour, and then Mortal Kombat would start. But they've reduced the timings down to one screening now, so I'd have had to have waited for like 4 hours, 4.5 hours, which is a bit too long.
Oh, that's
really.
A shame. I mean,
yeah, because I think I'll have more fun with.
I really, really, really want to watch it, but like I think it's on Prime, but it's like 15 quid to rent.
Yeah.
Which,
admittedly, if you were going to the cinema and like all three of you were going to the cinema to watch it, you'd be paying much more than that anyway, wouldn't you? So that's kind of the way I think that you've got to look at these. That's the way I
justify it. I mean, we rented Wonder Woman 84 when that came out, and we rented it again the other day when one of Liz's friends came around for dinner. So I don't mind paying. I mean, it's only £5 now, but I think bollocks, I just dropped my mozzarella stick. I think what else did we pay for to watch? I can't remember what it was. I think it was one of the Disney ones. Mulan? No,
was it?
That was free.
No, because Soul came out free anyway, wasn't it? It was either. I can't remember what it was. You said it was either Mulan or it was. It
must have been Mulan.
I have a feeling you paid to watch Mulan. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't mind doing it, and I quite like that model. I love going to the cinema. I mean, I think that model's been really good where we can't go to the cinema to do that, but there's just that experience. I'm not sure what's the first film we'll probably watch at the cinema is. Probably going to be a Marvel one. Probably
or
Black
Bond.
Widow. Bond. Yeah, now I'm actually
whenever
up to
that
date
comes
with them.
out.
I probably would. That would be one I'd be going on my own, I think.
Yeah.
But no, Bond. I probably will actually because.
It depends when it comes out. I don't know when it's been. I can't remember when it's been put back to now. Whether it's going to be put back until the end of this year.
Yeah.
Or whether it comes out this summer. I'm not up to date on what's happening there.
To be fair, it's more than likely going to be a Marvel film.
Yeah, it'll be Black Widow. Let's face it.
It's more than likely going to be a Disney film because all of the studios are Disney. Whether it's Fox or Disney or Marvel, it's going to be Disney.
Yeah. I'm just happy that they're back open again because I do it's one of the things that I do enjoy, and especially now that I'm freelance and can make up my own hours, it means that I can go during the day when no one else is there,
whatever time you want.
Yeah.
I'm going for my lunch break for 3 hours. I'm going to go and watch a film. Brilliant.
But, not that my timetable really is kind of open to that kind of thing much anymore.
No.
But
No, not with all the creative stuff you're doing on top as well. No.
Oh my God, yeah.
You've got your band biographies, you've got your numerous guest appearances you're making on podcasts.
Bands as well in the evenings. And
practicing with bands and work and having to travel for conferences.
Probably
Zoom
getting to a point where I'm going to have to drop one thing or another.
I mean, that's what I'm like, because now I'm sort of gym and climbing.
Yeah.
But I'm, where I would have normally gone climbing 2 or 3 times a week, I'm only doing it once, and then gym's taking the others. But then I've got studying and work and the band, and it's like, okay,
it's starting to get almost too busy. But I quite like it.
Family as well. Yeah.
There's that too. Yeah. But but I think I kind of hope things will calm down a bit. It's why I quite like the fact that the whole high frequency thing is not going to be every week or even every other week, even if it's just once a month. I'm happy with that because there's almost like a desperation as well with the other bands that I'm in to kind of get back to gig readiness, but it's like I don't really understand what the desperation is because there are no gigs to go and play at the moment.
Yeah, it's and the thing is as well with us, it's like a low pressure. Like we're all on the same page.
Yeah,
like, you're busy, like with work, and like you say, you've got two other bands. Yeah, Corky's got his family and work, so he's not really wanting to push and get gigging in. I'm in the same position as Corky, really. Plus, I've got the studying and stuff. And it's like there's no like, yeah, we love to play, and it's not like I know God sort of wants to do like at least one gig a month. I think you were doing, weren't you?
Yeah, probably at that. Least. Yeah, and it was looking like, you know, last year was going to be, there were going to be loads of gigs last year. With both the other bands, like the you know, Swamp Stomper was really picking up speed, and we were going to be going in and recording, and it looks like we're going to try and get into a place to record by the end of June, hopefully.
Oh, nice.
With Graham, funnily enough. And yeah, that would be nice, because we do have a gig lined up for, I think, September.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, who knows? You know, it's all so up in the air still.
Yeah. But yeah, so like obviously, like I say, those bands, they're keen to just get going. Like Swamp Stomp being an originals, like you actually wanting to do something. So you need to get out gigging.
But also the drummer is going off. Like he was supposed to have been off last year, kind of traveling. He bought a mobile, like a big kind of mobile home, you know, RV type thing. Him and his wife were going to go off traveling last year, and obviously, you know, that's scuppered. But the plan is for them to go off in August. So who knows whether any of this is going to happen?
Wow.
You know, this is the thing. There is a kind of life expectancy on it. Obviously, they were going to be going around Europe.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not happening now. So they're going to be in the UK. So it might be that they come back from time to time and we can get back on and do it. And I don't know whether, there's a lot of stuff going on at the moment. And I'm kind of, it might be that High Frequency is my only band by the end of the year, because who knows whether you'll find another drummer. You know, they are always the hardest member of a band to come by. Yeah.
Oh, because it's obviously the drummer in Swamp
He's
Stomp
both.
The drummer in both, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so it's fair enough. But it's like there are other priorities, aren't there, for some people?
Yeah.
Like with us, we've definitely got other priorities, so it's not.
Yeah. And it's like I say, it's just nice to have like a no pressure environment where it's just doing it for the sake of having a bit of fun, with the prospect of stuff to come in, like, you know, 7 or 8 months, if not a year from now, you know. We can kind of build ourselves up to it gradually.
Yeah. Be good. I'm looking forward to it. That first gig though, that'd be a bit weird for me.
Yeah,
I need to get my shit working.
Well, properly. all we do is, when things start to open up, is invite a couple of people down to a practice room and do.
That's true. Yeah,
that kind of warm up in front of people. You know.
Yeah. Whereas, we can do that because practice room, not bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Or not bedroom / living space.
Yeah,
where we're sticking the sofa on your bed.
Like the other room down there is kind of thinner but longer, so you can have that kind of.
You can be down one end.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the one we had, I liked the setup for the one we had, where we were sort of like, because we could all see each other.
Yeah.
When we were playing,
which is important in this situation that we're in at the moment.
Yes. Well, yeah, of course, yeah. No. It's cool. Be good.
So I mean, it's been an interesting few days actually. Like it's been really, you know, especially, you know, yesterday in the practice room, it was a really, I know that we, you know, it's very self-indulgent this episode, but it's an exciting thing, and I think, you know,
that's what this podcast is. It's about us. Really, isn't it? I mean, it is.
Yeah.
That's what it's turned into, and we will talk about shit we're interested in, but as actually something we're excited about, so we're talking about it. Yeah.
I think it's time to go and maybe write down some of those lyrics and have a bit of a redraft.
Yes. Yeah, we've got that guitar Corky gave me to bring home to see if I can get it to sound like I want it.
Yeah.
Actually, I was sitting there with it on my lap when Liz sort of walked in yesterday, and she went, "Where did that sexy guitar come from?"
Well, I was looking at Dan Electro basses last night because I watched a live stream of NoFX last year, I think it was, and saw Fat Mike playing this bass, and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And Joe was like, "I'm pretty sure that's a Dan Electro," and I was like, "Okay," looking those up. Yeah. And there's those weird fucking Longhorn ones, which is what the bassist from that Italian group was using last night.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which I don't like.
No.
But they do a really, really nice looking one. It's about 450 quid.
That's not bad.
Which is not bad. And it looks really nice.
Yeah, I mean, so the guitar that Corky Amy bring home, it's a vintage.
Yeah.
Like brand vintage, PRS. But it's their PRS looking one. And it is very nice. And it feels really nice to play. It's just I think the pickups need a bit of adjustment. But yeah, I've looked at a few PRSs on they're not 450 quid.
No, admittedly.
So, yeah, never mind.
But this is the thing. This is where we're going. This is what happens now. You get into that kind of mindset of being like, because it's like I think almost every couple of years I've bought myself a new bass now. And it's coming up to the part where the Fender now is like, it's a couple of years old, the novelty's wearing off. Like, it's great for playing punk on because it's got a really great tone.
Yeah.
But I'd quite like to see what the Dan Electro sounds like because it just looks really, really nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting into muso speak, so only for us, literally only for us. So that's cool. It was really, really great getting in a room with you and Corky yesterday. I really enjoyed myself, and we shook hands. We shook hands. We touched each other. Fucking hell. That's weird. First human interaction I've had with it that hasn't been with Joe or maybe my mum in the last, God knows how long. Yeah.
It's very different. Yeah, I mean, my mum, because it was her 60th, so she came round for dinner last night. It's really nice. Had a fucking lovely burger. It was one of those, it was vegan, so it was one of those faux meat patties. Yeah. It's just like a burger.
They're fine.
Felt just like a burger. It was amazing. Actually, I was able to give her a hug as it was her 60th, which is quite nice. It was really nice. And then my dad and my sister popped round as well, so it was just it was a really nice night, actually. Cool. It was just nice to get that human interaction, and it felt normal. So, but and that practice yesterday was just felt really good, and we probably have something for these guys to hear in the future at some point.
Hopefully,
definitely our patrons will get to hear something, I should think. We need to give it all a listen. To scrub through and see if there's anything that we recorded yesterday that's sort of worth it. But
even halfway usable. I would imagine Leaving Home would be I'll try the standout. It'll be in that last half hour, won't it? We did.
Yeah, so we recorded a few bits and pieces, and then we recorded for about half an hour. Just we played a song, or played two songs, and then we're right. What are we going to play next? Someone shouts something. All right, let's play it. So it'll be I think, was it the first?
It was, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. So it should be quite easy to find.
Yeah, cool. But I'll have a little listen and see if there's anything, and then.
Yeah, I'll be interested to hear it back.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Good stuff.
Nice one. Well, great seeing you again. And it's nice to. Yeah, I know. Weird, right? Yeah. Hopefully there'll be a few more in the upcoming months. And if not in a practice room, then in someone's front room doing acousticy stuff.
Oh, for sure.
That'd be cool.
For sure. Get you and Corky, with your other halves round for a barbecue.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Definitely.
What was that? Oh, yeah, we need to order a new one. Yeah, we do, to be fair. Anyway.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
That's a conversation for another
time. So for this time on Anywhere But Here, I've been Tom.
I've been Ant. Bye.
Bye.